For joining us for the Monday edition of Sports Splash on ABS TV. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a brand new week and we are delighted to have you. On the show this morning, Enugu Rangers wins the Nigeria Premier Football League 4 the 8th edition. We'll talk about that on the show. We'll also be telling you that Chief Donatus Ejidike, pillar of sport in Nigeria, has rallied for support for the Super Eagles as well as salutes the Flamingos for their recent heroics. We'll also tell you that CAF is has set a date for the 2025 AFCON draws, and then Real Madrid new forward Kylian Mbappe stopped from featuring at the Olympic Games. We also have tennis news, athletics will also feature on the sports show, and then fixture service of matches in the ongoing Euro 2024 and results of the Nigeria Premier Football League match day 37 action across the country. Now let's begin the show with our first story. Our first story is about pillar of sports. Yes, let's tell you that the Nigeria's pillar of sports Chief Donatus Agbo Ejidike JP has called on critical stakeholders in the Nigerian football sphere to rally around the country's senior national men's football team, the Super Eagles, amid the current poor run of our results in the ongoing 2026 World Cup qualifiers. Ejidike made the call on Tuesday, that was last Tuesday, during an interaction with sports journalists at his office in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, when he said these are not at the best of times for the Super Eagles, but this is at the time they need the most the support of every Nigerian to be able to navigate this difficult period in a national footballing journey. The former president of the Karate Federation of Nigeria, KFN, therefore calls on every Nigerian for support, especially for the players and the technical crew, adding that it is a no-brainer that the guys as well as the managers will want to be at the Canada, Mexico, USA 2026 World Cup being the pinnacle of any football's aspiration. He added that it will be grossly inaccurate for anybody to think that the guys do not know what it stake or what it at stake. They do. The Anambra-born sports philanthropist added, the Nnewi-born business mogul maintained that as a Nigerian, he understands the feeling of Nigerian football fans, but stated that in football, you win, draw, or lose some. All we can do now is move on and look forward to better days and results ahead. Agbo Ejidike also charged the boys to see their selection to represent the country from among over 200 million Nigerians as a privilege, and therefore double up their efforts and give no room for complacency in the remaining fixtures so as to restore the country's glory. It will be recalled that Nigeria had played a total of 4 matches, drew 3 and lost 1, the most recent of which was a 1-1 draw with South Africa in Uyo, and the 1-2 loss to Benin Republic. The others have been the 1-0 draw against Lesotho at home and another one against Zimbabwe away from home. With those results, Nigeria sits at 5th with 3 points on the 6th table, ahead of only Zimbabwe. But the patron of the Nigerian Football Supporters Club believes that Nigeria is tactically and technically and mathematically not out of the race yet. All the boys need to do is try and win at the rest of the 6 remaining matches. In the same vein, the Nigeria's pillar of sports has saluted the Nigeria women's under-17 national football team, the Flamingos, for the emphatic 4-1 victory recorded against the Liberian counterparts over the weekend in the first leg of the last qualifying round for the World Cup again in Dominican Republic 2024, slated for later in the year. The result has more or less rendered the return leg in Abuja a mere formality. Agbo Ejidike praised that the girls and the team's technical crew, while urging them to go all out and seal qualification and then go ahead and break their predecessor's record in the competition in the last edition held in India, where Nigeria won the bronze medal in that one. And still on Agbo Ejidike, yes, as Muslim faithfuls celebrate the Eid Kabir, the Nigeria pillar of sports Chief Donatus Agbo Ejidike has tasked the Nigerians to seek at the face of the Creator in supplication for divine intervention on the nation's socio-economic situation, which has subjected the citizens to untold hardship. Yes, the Nigerians are crying out loud that hunger is biting on everyone as they plead to leaders and rulers at all levels to come up with policies that will salvage the economic situation in the country. Chief Donatus Ejidike sounded that with prayers and change of attitude, the country can be better, in which a case that the Eid Kabir period can be avenue to admonish the citizens to imbibe the spirit of giving and sacrifices in a given situation, such as the present situation. The sports philanthropist added that relieving the lessons of Eid Mubarak should be promoted and expressed that because without a spirit of giving and sacrifices, many will be segregated and abandoned in the abject poverty. He prayed that Almighty God that we should imbibe the spirit of our love and demonstrate that just as God has given the opportunity to everyone. He also cautioned that we should exhibit moral conduct as the celebration of Eid Mubarak is being celebrated. Those were the words of Chief Donatus Agwu Ejidike, who is the pillar or Nigeria pillar of sports, and of course he is doing a whole lot in terms of using sports as a tool to of course ensure there is togetherness and peaceful coexistence and conviviality among people. Well, still talking about sports at the local level. Let's tell you that Enugu Rangers International Football Club have been crowned the champions of the 2023-2024 Nigeria Premier Football season. Rangers International of Enugu have been crowned the champions, and that was on Sunday. This comes after the Flying Antelopes defeated Bendel Insurance by 2-0 in a match played at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium. The win took Rangers to an unassailable 67 points at the summit of the table after their closest rivals Remo Stars and Enyimba lost 2-1 to Sunshine Stars and Sporting Lagos respectively. Going into the match day 37 game with a 2-point lead, Fidelis Ilechukwu's team seized the control early against Insurance with Kenechukwu Ago scoring in the 33rd minute of the game. Chidi Ebere Nwobodo extended their lead in the 65th minute, but their title confirmation was nearly postponed to the final day as both Remo and Enyimba equalized after initially trailing in their respective games. A draw for Remo would have kept their title hopes alive, but 2 late goals dashed their hopes, and this will be Rangers' first league. It will be Rangers' first league title since 2016 and their 8th NPFL title in total. And the triumph also automatically guarantees them a place in the CAF Champions League come next season. So congratulations to Rangers International for emerging champions of the Nigeria Premier Football League for the 2023-2024 football season. We say congratulations to Rangers International. In other results from the NPFL, let's tell you that Abia Warriors are defeated Akwa United by 2-1 in their match elsewhere. Bayelsa United saw off 3SC, that Shooting Stars by 2-1. And Sporting Lagos defeated Enyimba International by 2-1. It was Sunshine Stars 2, Remo Stars 1. In other results, Heartland FC defeated Niger Tornadoes by 1-0 in their encounter. Castina United saw off Doma United by 2-0. In the match between Lobby Stars and Kwara United, it ended in a 7-goal trailer, and Lobby Stars triumphed by 4-3 against Kwara United, and Plateau United played out a 1-1 draw against Kano Pillars. Elsewhere, Rivers United obliterated already relegated Gombe United by 6-0, and that's how it went down in match day 37 of the Nigeria Premier Football League. Yes, Enyimba International couldn't get that deserved win to push the league to the final day, and that's why Rangers International got that all-important win and then are champions for the 2023-2024 season. Congratulations to our own Rangers International. We'll call them the Flying Antelopes. Moving away from that, let's tell you that Nigeria have booked their place at the 2024 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup after beating Liberia by 6-1 on aggregate in the final round of the qualifying series. Our Flamingos forward Harmony Chidi netted a goal in each half to power Nigeria to a 2-0 victory over Liberia in the second leg of the final playoff match. Nigeria had last week claimed an impressive 4-1 win over their West African neighbors at the Samuel Kanyondo Stadium in Liberia. Nigeria's highest goal scorer during the campaign, Chidi, scored one of Flamingos 4 goals in the first leg and opened the account for the coach Bankole Olowo Keresa Two-Third Girls, and that was in the return leg. But the scoreline was quite heavy. Nigeria are now through to the competition coming up later at the Dominican Republic hosting later in the year, and we say congratulations to the Flamingos. The Flamingos are the under-17 national female football team of the country. And leaving football now, let's go to the world of table tennis. The International Table Tennis Federation, the ITTF, has formally confirmed the eventual qualification of Nigeria's Quadri Aruna and Algeria's Linda Logriabi from Africa for the singles event of the Paris 2024 Olympic Games in France. And the confirmation was made in a statement issued on Friday by the ITTF with a representation from Africa, the Americans, Asia, and Europe. As the countdown to the Paris 2024 Olympic Games intensifies, ITTF is thrilled to announce a significant progress in the qualification process for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. With less than 50 days to the Games, this week's world ranking update saw 8 athletes secure their participation based on the selection of continental quotas allocated by world ranking. And according to the statement, the men's singles draw welcomes African powerhouse Quadri Aruna from Nigeria alongside the Americans rising talent Nicolas Bogos from Chile. We hear the list also had Asia's Kirill Gerasimenko of Kazakhstan and Europe's Alvaro Robles of Spain, who previously qualified in the mixed doubles event. The ITTF also said that the women's singles competition will showcase a similar level of global talent with the qualification of Linda Lograibi from Algeria, Africa, Adriana Rias of Puerto Rico in Americans, and Singapore's Zhu Jingyi from Asia, and also Yang Xiao of Monaco in Europe can now officially begin their preparations for the Olympic Dreams in Paris. The ITTF statement stated that the qualification process would reach its penultimate stage with only one more world ranking update scheduled before the final roster for Paris is confirmed. And next week's world rankings will be crucial in determining the final competitors for the highly anticipated Paris 2024 Games. 86 men and 86 women are expected to compete in the singles event of the Olympic Games, the ITTF added in the statement. And meanwhile, the ITTF has named 3 Africans, Akram Ben Atia of Tunisia, Saeed Raudi of Egypt, and Ronald Mugwanya of Uganda among the umpires for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. So we'll have 3 umpires from Africa that will be in Paris to officiate at the game of the board game of table tennis, and then we'll have a couple of Africans also featuring. One of them is our own Aruna Quadri as one of the players that will be representing the country and the continent at the Paris Olympic Games are coming up later in the year. And now to Nigeria players abroad. Let's tell you that with Arsenal eager to continue their challenge at the top of the Premier League, various reports in the media suggest that the Gunners have made contact with an African star ahead of the 2024-2025 season, and who is the African star in contact, will tell you shortly. And Arsenal could be in for a bigger summer transfer window after being linked with a number of top targets since the end of the 2023-2024 campaign. And with the London Giants are set to be keen on improving their striking department in the coming months. Aston Villa star Ollie Watkins and Newcastle talisman, talking about Alexander Isak, are believed to be admired by Arteta and the company. Now, though, according to reports from Italy, Arsenal have been in contact with the agent of Nigerian star Victor Osimhen, who is tipped to make a big money transfer before the start of the 2024-2025 season. As one of the most sought-after strikers in Europe at the moment, Osimhen reportedly attracted interest from Manchester United, Chelsea, and PSG over the course of the last 12 months. And the same report also mentions that Osimhen prefers a move to the Premier League and that he would wait for the opportunity to do so. So let's watch out and see amongst the strikers being rooted to make their move to the Emirates Stadium if Victor Osimhen or Leo Watkins or Isak will be one of those players that will end up playing to support, of course, the Arsenal's attack at the ongoing the English Premier League. That's for the 2024-2025 season. Now to the continent, let's tell you that the Confederation of African Football has announced that the qualifying draw for the 2025 African Cup of Nations will take place on Thursday, the 4th of July 2024. 48 teams will be divided into 12 groups of 4 during the draw in Johannesburg, South Africa, and the top 2 in each group will reach at the finals scheduled to be hosted in North Africa by Morocco. And according to African Football's governing body, tournament host will be included in the draw, but given Morocco are already assured of their qualification, only one team in their group will book a ticket to North Africa. And CAF issued the following statement on its official website on Thursday, 13th of June. The journey to the Total Energies CAF African Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 will resume, with the draw for the qualifiers are scheduled for Thursday, the 4th of July 2025 in Johannesburg, South Africa. The draw will be conducted at Super Sports Studios in South Africa at 13 hours 30 local time. That's 15 hours 30 Cairo time, which is coincidentally 14 hours 30 local time in Nigeria. That's about 2:30 p.m. 48 nations, including the 4 winners from the preliminary round, Chad, Eswatini, Liberia, and South Sudan, will be drawn in 12 groups of 4 teams each to battle it out for places at the finals. Headlining the confirmed nations for the draw are reigning African champions Cote d'Ivoire, joined by Algeria, Angola, Benin Republic, Botswana, Burundi, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Central African Republic, Chad, Comoros, Congo, DR Congo, Egypt, Equatorial Guinea, Eswatini, and Ethiopia will hear. Others include Gabon, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea-Bissau, Kenya, Lesotho, Liberia, Libya, Madagascar. Others are Malawi, Mali, Mauritania, Morocco, Mozambique, Namibia, Niger Republic, Nigeria, Rwanda, Sao Tome and Principe will here will also be part of it. Senegal, Sierra Leone, South Africa, and we'll have South Sudan, Tanzania, Togo, Tunisia, Uganda, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. And the qualifiers are scheduled to kick off in September 2024 to determine the first 24 nations that will compete for Africa's biggest event at the Total Energies CAF African Cup of Nations in Morocco. That's in 2025. And fresh from the trials and successes of the Total Energies CAF African Cup of Nations Cote d'Ivoire 2023, where the host nation defied all odds to claim their third title. A line-up of intriguing matches expected for the journey to the 35th edition of the Showpiece Continental event. In attendance will be selected CAF legend, representatives of the participating teams, and members of the local organizing committees for Total Energies African Cup of Nations Morocco 2025, among others. And we hear. And still on the continent, Crystal Palace manager Olivier Glasner has secured his first signing with the arrival of Chadi Raider from Barcelona on a 5-year contract, and the 20-year-old defender who was born in Palma, Spain to Moroccan parents made his senior debut for the Atlas Lions against Sierra Leone on the 11th of January 2024 and was part of the squad that reached the round of 16 at the 2023 African Cup of Nations. And lastly, on the continent, let's tell you that Mali's Football Federation have acted swiftly in the wake of the disappointing match day 3 and 4 in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers by parting ways with coach Eric Chelle. The Eagles took just 1 point from 2 matches in June against Ghana, 1-2 home loss in Bamako, and Madagascar, 0-0 away draw in neutral Johannesburg, which saw them placed fourth in Group I, 4 points off the place of leaders Comoros in that group we here. And Chelle, a former Malian international, had been in charge of the team since 2022 and took them to the quarterfinals of the AFCON earlier this year, where they were narrowly beaten after extra time by host eventual champions Cote d'Ivoire. And the Malian Federation, FEMAFOOT, released a statement on X confirming their decision to remove Chelle. And the executive committee of the Malian Football Federation, meeting in an extraordinary session, unanimously decided with the agreement of the supervisory authority to end the collaboration between the coach of the senior national team, Mr. Eric Sekou Chelle, and FEMAFOOT. The statement read. So we wish him all the very best in his future endeavors. Moving on, still on Sports Splash on ABS TV. Let's tell you that a British runner, Jessica Wanna-Jude, says she has been provisionally diagnosed with a form of epilepsy after suffering a seizure during the women's European 10,000 meters finals, and that was last Tuesday. The 29-year-old dropped out with 600 meters to go in Rome, and while being assessed in the medical center, said she had a further seizure, which led to her being sedated and spending the night in the hospital. And of course, in March, she suffered a similar mid-race seizure during a 10,000 meters event in United States, and focal epilepsies are characterized by seizures in one area on one side of the brain and can last between a few seconds and 2 minutes. We hear, but Wanna-Jude thanked the British athletics and her family and friends for helping her through what she described as an incredibly tough couple of months. And now to some tennis news. Emma Raducanu has turned down the chance to play for Great Britain at this summer's Olympics, but two-time gold medalist Andy Murray is set to compete in Paris. Raducanu, 21 years of age, is ranked too low to qualify as she continues to come back. Yes, she continues to come back from surgery on her wrist and ankle last year. And the 2021 US Open champion was offered one of 2 places by the International Tennis Federation that are reserved for former Grand Slam champions. And Raducanu missed the French Open, played on the same clay court of Roland Garros, but will stage at the Olympics, Olympic tennis to ensure she is fit for the British grass court and swing. And Great Britain's nominations were announced at the Queen's Club on Sunday, and the ITF will announce the full entry list for Paris 2024, and that's coming up on the 4th of July. And let's tell you that Britain's Jack Draper came from a set down to beat Italy's Matteo Berrettini and still a maiden ATP Tour title at the Stuttgart Open. And Draper, 22 years of age, lost at the opening set but held his nerve to register a 3-6, 7-6, 6-4 victory on grass in Germany. And lastly, before we go on the show, back to football, let's tell you that France striker Kylian Mbappe says his new club Real Madrid will not let him play at the Olympics in Paris this summer. According to reports, the 25-year-old who has said that he wanted to play external in his home games was not selected in France's provisional Olympic squad on the 3rd of June. Because Real said any player competing in Euro 2024 could not play at the Olympics. He has agreed to join Real on a free transfer when his PSG contract expires on the 30th of June. The men's Olympics football competition starts on the 24th of July. 10 days after Europe 2024 final and ends on the 9th of August, just over a week before the La Liga season begins. And the Olympic football tournament is contested by under 23 teams about equal, but each nation can include 3 overage players in their squad. And two-time European champions France are among the favorites to win the Euro 2024. And manager Didier Deschamps is aiming to become only the second person to win the Euros as a player and a manager after Germany's Betty Vogtsam we hear. So Kylian Mbappe, will he be at the Olympics? No, he's not going to be at the Olympics. He will be helping his team in continuation of the Euros. And let's tell you that in the Euros, in Group D, Austria will take on France later today by 8 p.m., while in Group E, Romania will play Ukraine by 2 p.m., and Belgium is expected to take on Slovakia later today by 5 p.m. That's the show for the morning Sports Splash on ABS TV. Thank you so much for being here. The show will make a return tomorrow for another episode. I am Ike Mokede. Have a lovely week and remember to keep sporting. Bye-bye now.